In this video, I'm going to be rambling about character design, fan characters, and Madoka Magica. If you don't care about any of that, feel free to mute this video. I'll never know, and this is kind of just an experiment for me. Today, I'm redesigning a fan character I made 4 years ago. Her name was Alex Dijon, like mustard, I guess? And she was an American transfer student who was a cool tomboy and wore the boys' uniform and was too good for all the frills of a regular magical girl. Looking back, I can see that there are a lot of obvious flaws with her design, especially if she was supposed to fit into the Magica universe. So to start, I outlined some major points of design I noticed in Madoka Magica. First off, all their outfits are symmetrical, and Alex's is obviously not. I got rid of the bandages and the one sleeve thing. It was creating asymmetry, and I generally just wasn't a fan of it. I took the concept of the one sleeve into the glove and extended it to cover 2 fingers on both of her arms. For colors, since Madoka designs are typically monochrome with a little bit of another accent color, I went with orange. They're already a red and yellow character in the main show, and orange is in the middle of the two, as well as typically being associated with bold athletic characters. Speaking of personality, she can still be a cool tomboy type, but there's no reason for her to be so one note, or for her to be from America. Let's say that now she's a boyish student athlete, maybe in the kendo club, who tends to prefer pants to a skirt and grew up in the city. Her general theme can be princely, regal, like a knight in shining armor. Back to her outfit, there needs to be more details in general. The original design was very plain and vaguely futuristic. It didn't look like a magical girl. I added a soul gem to her design because all the magical girls in Madoka Magica have one, and there wasn't one in the original design, not as far as I could tell. I also fluffed up the skirt and the sleeves. The A-line looked really misplaced and uncomfortable in the original dress, and the sleeve poos were just adding to the image of princeliness. The sharp hair, like the spikes and stuff, they can remain, but I shortened them to look a little less messy and ragged, and I gave her the crown to match the rest of the team, who all have their own hair accessories, and to keep adding to this theme of her being a prince type. I also decided to keep her boots, but I turned them into longer, more fairy tale prince boots to really round off the theme. As for my personal history with Madoka Magica, it actually took me a really long time to try and watch the show, because I was always bothered by how they drew the heads. They were wider than they are tall, and I just wasn't a fan. But then I watched it, and now I've seen it like 5 times. I've always really enjoyed the magical girl genre, mainly because it usually falls into urban fantasy, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. Madoka Magica had some very real relationships and was not afraid to talk about love and sacrifice and loss, and I think as a 14-year-old, and even now, I really appreciate that. I discovered Madoka Magica just as I was starting to explore animation and the world behind it, and seeing the chaotic beauty of the witches absolutely blew my mind. I could talk for hours about how much I love the witches and their designs and how they're animated, but I won't do that because this is like a 10-minute max video and you don't want to hear that. But back to the design. The chainsaw. No. I was really into Black Butler at the time, and I thought chainsaws were cool anime weapons. But now I know that that's really out of place in the Madoka Magica universe. And most universes, actually. So I changed it to a rapier to continue the princely motif. I think now that she's redesigned and not quite so bad, her new name should be something along the lines of her theme and her personality. I think Takara Akashiro, which, as far as I can tell, means treasure and castle, or something along those lines. So that's about all I have to say for this video. If you're still bearing with me, thanks. If you want to see more of this, I think I can put a poll up in the corner, maybe vote on there so I can see. Sorry you had to listen to my voice for like 8 minutes. Here's some nice royalty-free music.